Why nerf the DLC before it's truly balanced? Well, they have to try different things to figure out what is actually balanced. Balanced is also a difficult thing to define. Because for some people, they had trouble with the volcano season, but I didn't have any trouble with it. After the third volcano season, basically I didn't have any trouble with it at all anymore. There are still times when the volcano season can get the best of you, so the chance of dying is always there, but I felt like that made the game more exciting. The chance of you actually dying later on in the game, as opposed to an ROG where you basically can't die. There are no giants. There's whales, and there's the volcano. The volcano is essentially the same as the giant, but it works like really rapidly. So in the giant, in ROG, the giants acted as a way that forced you into a nomadic style. You had to leave your base or you lose your base. That's basically what the volcano is. But there's no actual boss monsters yet. It's probably going to be like a kraken, volcano monsters, I don't know. Because they're working on a volcano cave. I should say though, the game was not balanced, even though I was okay with it. There's a difference between being okay with a game and a game being balanced. There's also a lot of bugs. Like the flooding, it's really bugged right now. It's also unintuitive, so you have to put a sandbag on top of the puddle during the flood season, but sometimes the puddles don't appear until like 10 days in, and the puddles are like double this size when they appear, so it's not practical to even drop a sandbag on them anymore. The mosquitoes will always spawn from them, they still slow you. They just stop growing, which I guess is okay. Yeah, flooding is anti-fun. Like, seriously. Why did they even add flooding? It was an interesting mechanic. It is an interesting mechanic. It's just poorly executed. Constant threats like this shouldn't ever be inside your base. Your base is your safe haven. And there's a reason why in ROG, the reason why everyone considered it so balanced was that during the attacks with the giants, you get a warning first. So if you want to fight the giant, you fight it away from your base. You leave your base. When you leave your base, you leave the comfort of your base. So that means that you don't have your supplies mostly. You just have whatever you carry with you. So it turns into a nomadic style. And that's how you fight the giants, usually anyway. But once you're done with that, once you're done with the giant, you can just come back here again. Go back to your base, back to your safe haven. And that's what I really liked about RRG, because you can switch between the two styles. It's only once a season, but it was still okay. It was enough to make it exciting and challenging, especially in the beginning. No, flint and gold are both renewable. But they're renewable through RNG, both of them. Which is why I'm not using gold tools. The gold tools I got are from trawl netting. So the gold pickaxe I never actually make. If you look at my resources, I mean, even though being like 1,000 days in to me isn't really that impressive, it does tell you some things about the resources you have. So the amount of gold I have, 3 gold, and like all this flint. I think the boats are bugged right now, that's the reason. They spawn too much, sometimes they freeze, and then other times they just Yeah, they just miss you. The missing part is probably what makes them the least threatening. Okay, well, I think it's too late for the octopus. I spent too much time here. Before, I had like 8 or 9 gears. Now look at everything. So many gears. Too many gears. Yeah, I used a lot of gold on lightning rod. I also used gold on these. But the thing is, I also used a lot of flint on tools. So before I did a lot of trawl netting, I made a ton of these tools. And the thing is, you still need gold. Gold is something you need a lot. The lightning rods, even though it seems like it's excessive, is 100% necessary. So if I didn't put lightning rods here and lightning struck the plants here, then I would lose the plants as a resource permanently because these are non-movable resources and non-movable, non-renewable resources over here. So the mushrooms and the reeds. The base as well. You saw what happened in the other game. I forgot to put a lightning rod in the base, and then instantly, once it hit winter or hurricane season, one strike of lightning took out half the base. So, in this game, in Shipwrecked, the lightning rod takes the place of the ice fling-o-matic in ROG. In ROG, you would have like 10 of these things, depending on your base size. You'd have one minimum, and probably like 3 or 4 of them for an average size base. For a big base, you're going to have like 10 to 15 of them. Yeah, the spiders, I moved them. So instead of having flingos, you have lightning rods instead. These flingos here are for... It's for the same season. It's for the hurricane season. But it was mostly because I was paranoid. It hasn't ever happened before. But there's a chance that something can blow through the creature and just light the base on fire by blowing through the wind. So that's why the flingos are here. But so far, nothing has ever come close to that. Bee boxes. I have bee boxes. Honey is an amazing resource. I don't have that many bee boxes, but you don't need too many bee boxes. The reason is because ice kind of takes the place of the bee box. A lot of the ice recipes, they restore a lot of sanity. So the banana pop is a good example. Bananas are really, really easy to get. All you need is 2 twigs, ice, banana, and then you have 33 sanity. What would be my advice for someone who would like to live in a cave forever? Don't do it. Unless you're like super comfortable with the game, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the effort. Am I gonna make a montage for Weber? Probably not. The montage is already on YouTube. It's the previous Weber's montage. This one, probably not yet. Not anytime soon. Maybe like way later, but at the moment, just playing the game. I don't have time to make this stuff. Can you live in a cave forever? You can. It's hard though. It's easy on Weber. Weber can live in a cave forever. Mushrooms are renewable. You can put a bee box down there if you really wanted to. It's kind of weird. Bee boxes can keep you alive forever. The most important step is just to have the resources available that allow you to survive in there. It's basically like regular survival, except constant sanity drain, constant darkness in most parts. That's basically it. Yeah, Wickford's really easy too. Wickford's just OP. I think everything is easy for Wickford. Not in Shipwrecked though. She's a bit worse in Shipwrecked because of the lack of gold. But it's not that important because you don't necessarily need armor. Armor is just nice to have, and you can also use the Cutlass instead of the Battle Spear. It's a great way to skip a season you're not prepared for. Not sure who told you that, but that is very bad information, I would say. Personally, I would call that bad information. Because chances are, if you want to skip a season, you want to do it... Well, you don't want to do it. The seasons on the surface are easier than underground. And it's pretty easy to prepare for a season. You should always be ready for a season. It comes down to how well you manage your time, really. The caves are there for a late game, like a fun experience. Also, it makes your light source renewable, so you get light bulbs for the miner hats. You can get glowberries for the moggles. But it's not a really great place for a base. The best place for a base is still above ground. Damn, there's so many spears. Can't use them all. You tried setting up a base in the ruins once, not recommended, yeah. It's fun, it's just not good. It's really bad. The ruins are really fun. I was there earlier today for the other game, hitting day 1000 on Wendy. Just for fun. And that was actually really, really fun. Reminded me of how fun ROG actually was. And how much Shipwrecked really needs. I never use rock lobsters because they stick on you like glue. I don't like it when my pets stick on me like glue. Spiders, pigs, bunnymen, Glommer, Bird, Chester. I'd rather them keep away from me if possible. Especially the bird, because regular attacking it causes you to select it as a target, even though you should be able to only hit it through force attack. What is my opinion on Don't Starve Together? It's fun. It's fun, multiplayer. Multiplayer is always good, but I prefer single player. I think they made a lot of really nice changes. Think of it as like ROG 1.1. They added a lot of cool stuff that would have made ROG a bit cooler. They nerfed a lot of things that made ROG easy. They buffed a lot of things, so a lot of enemies, so it's overall harder. If you played Don't Starve Together solo, I think it would be a pretty fun experience. And pretty challenging. Anything I would change to make it better? It's hard to say. They made a lot of really nice improvements, so it really is hard to say for me. This, though, This thing needs to change in Shipwrecked. That leashing problem, though. How many times did I miss the octopus? Probably like 8-9 times by 5 seconds or less. 1 or 2 times by like half a second. Pack and Bagums, they need to fix that. If you did notice, he's not with me anymore, even though I have the fishbone. It's because he's too slow. He never catch up with you. Also doesn't go through the fog. He has a lot of problems. He's just really buggy. You need to fix him. But instead, they nerfed volcanoes. They over-nerfed volcanoes. And they made sandbags break from ice in the sky and wind. I don't know if I have any more headache games for giveaway. Don't make the stream about the giveaway. It's like the last thing that I want the stream to be about. That's why I never do giveaways. You can repair sandbags, but right now there's no point. It's better to have a base with no walls. And if you have walls, you want to put them at least 2 screens away from you, so the wind doesn't have an effect. In most cases, everything in Don't Starve functions within 2 screens. So after 2 screens, they stop functioning. There are some things, though, that happen off-screen, but they're mostly passive things, like trees growing, bees collecting honey, stuff like that.